Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon. In Pulau Kentos Ibu, a woman with both her hands and legs tied was found dead in her own room. Investigation results proven that she was robbed and got beaten. More of the details will be provided by the next reporter in charge.
The case of a 58-year-old woman revealed extensive postmortem findings. The forensic pathologist testified that the victim suffered multiple blunt force injuries, including bruises and abrasion to her head, face, limbs, chest, and back. The injuries were described as inconsistent with accidental trauma, suggesting they were intentionally inflicted. The evidence also showed that the victim tried to defend herself. Her face was severely injured, that it was barely recognizable, demonstrating the force of the assault. Most importantly, the cause of death was confirmed as traumatic asphyxia and smothering, which alone or combined with other injuries was sufficient to cause death. During the postmortem, fingernails clippings were also collected from both hands. Laboratory analysis found a DNA under the victim's fingernails, which matched with DNA of one of the accused, which is Syahirah bin Osman Sabang. Experts confirmed that the sample was adequate, properly collected, and uncontaminated, providing the evidence of physical contact during the attack. This forensic finding is very crucial to confirm the cause of death to the victim.
Two men, Gigi Tin Kim Leong and Syahirah bin Osman Sabang, were convicted for murdering a woman during planned robbery in Cebu. The crime was motivated by money to fund their drug habit.
According to the key witness, Weli Anahaki, the plan was made after three took shabu together. Syahirah proposed robbing the victim's house, knowing cash was kept there. However, Weli refused to join the robbery, but agreed to pick them up later.
Around 1 a.m., Weli dropped the two of them around 200 meters from the house. Inside, the victim was tied at the hands and legs, assaulted, and later killed by smothering and chest compression.
Jadi admitted that he restrained the victim while Syahirah carried out the killing.
2 hours later, Weli picked them up. Both appeared panicked. At the Lanang Bridge, they divided the stolen cash and disposed of the victim's phone.
Now, as both of the offenders are found guilty beyond reasonable doubt, they will receive punishment suitable of their action. Given by the brutality and fatality suffered by the victim, they are to be sentenced to death by hanging. This judgment was befall upon them by the judges with lots of consideration. And here, I'll be explaining the aims and functions of the punishment. Firstly, it is to be said that the accused have not shown any signs of remorse or regret throughout the trial, and they could pose a huge threat to the public if they were to be released. And lastly, the judges believe that a deterrent sentence ought to be passed to safeguard the rate of murder case in Malaysia. And this decision could be seen as the justice to the victim's family, as they will live their life with the memory of their family members' violent and sad death.
The Court of Appeal has allowed the appeal of Gigi Tin Kim Leong and Syahirah Osman Sabang, who earlier sentenced for a murder during robbery. The court decided that the death penalty was not suitable in this case. The judge said that the death sentence should only be used for the most extreme cases. Because of this, the Court of Appeal has removed the death sentence and replaced it with 35 years in prison, starting from the date of arrest. Also, each of the men was sentenced to 15 strokes of whipping. The court explained although the crime was serious and violent, the killing was not planned. The judge accepted the two men intended to rob the victim, not to kill her. The court also considered that the both men were still young at the time of the crime, have been in prison since 2018, and have shown regret for what they did. The judge highlighted that under the Abolition of Mandatory Death Penalty Act 2023, the court now have the power to choose a fair punishment based on fact of each case. In conclusion, the Court of Appeal said that the long prison sentence was more appropriate than death penalty in this case. This case is significant because it reflects an important change in Malaysia's criminal justice system. Following the abolition of the mandatory death penalty, courts are now given greater discretion when deciding sentence. This means judges are no longer required to impose the death penalty automatically, but can instead consider the facts and circumstances of each individual case. The decision in this case highlight the court effort to balance punishment with fairness. Although the crimes involved violence and resulted in loss of life, the court examined whether the lengthy prison sentence would be more appropriate than capital punishment. This case has also generated public discussion. Some members of society support the move away from the death penalty, believing it allows for a more human and rehabilitative approach. Others, however, remain concerned about deterrence and public safety in cases involving serious crimes. Overall, this case demonstrated how recent legal reforms can influence sentencing outcomes. It showed the evolving approach of Malaysian court in ensuring that punishment is more proportionate, just, and in line with current law.